What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and here I am sitting next to this hat-wearing guy that goes by the name of
Gershwan.
And today we're back at it answering your questions in another installment of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what David Lewis did. He asks, did the Emperor plan for everything to go wrong and the heresy to take place? Is this all a long con so that the Emperor can become a true god in the 40K universe? Is all the suffering / pain, sacrifice necessary to empower the Emperor's apotheosis? So let's start from the bottom up.
Apotheosis.
Yeah. So
Apothesis. Apothesis.
And what does that mean in the 40K universe?
Basically a transition. His metamorphosis. His adolescence into adulthood.
Yeah. So the Emperor is going through puberty right now on the Golden Throne, becoming an Emperor. And yes, you do there a sense of devotion, a sense of like, you said suffering, pain, and sacrifice, but there's also like other things that go into it. But yes, emotions need to be spent towards a divinity in order for something to reach that apotheosis of godlyhood, not demonhood. But it is kind of the same, whereas like you look at all the traitor Primarchs that turn to demon Primarchs, something really bad had to have happened in order for them to reach demonhood. Same thing with the Emperor. Something like pretty like monumental needs to happen before he becomes a god, like Slaanesh.
Exactly. Maybe it takes the Imperium actually dying for the Emperor to say, all right, I got to step in and end my apotheosis early.
It was basically an entire race of psychically powerful individuals, and remember that every single Eldar has some type of psychic thingamajig. So it was them just diving into hedonism that created Slaanesh.
Right.
So now it's just like populations of I don't even know if like there's trillions and trillions in just one hive city devoted to the Emperor, and that devotion is then going to translate into the Emperor's apotheosis.
Right. One theory that I've had in the back of my mind for a while now is the Terminus Decree that the Grey Knights have. Maybe that's the so to say, the ignition that'll cause the Emperor to become a god. They hit the Terminus Decree, all Grey Knights die, but their massive psychic essence gets transferred directly to the Emperor, and that's the snap that created his godhood.
Yep.
I mean, you lose the Grey Knights, but you get a freaking god.
Yeah. And that's what Space Marines truly are, right? Through their sacrifice, the Emperor prevails, or the Imperium prevails.
Right.
But he is the Imperium. So, and then your second part is this a long con for the Emperor to become a true god? At first glance, it's a no. It's like a straight like no, because obviously the Emperor during the Great Crusade was pushing the Imperial Truth. And the Imperial Truth was talking about don't worship gods, priests should die, churches should be destroyed.
Right. It's all about science and logic. Who can relate?
Yeah. But then you look into it, and then you realize that, well, maybe there was something else to it, because the Emperor was himself a very psychic being, like a very like powerful person, or the most powerful psychic human in all of existence, and he had a chat with the 4 Chaos Gods, so he kind of knew like what was going on. So perhaps the long like I don't think when he jumped off from Terra after the Unification Wars, I don't think his plan was to become a god. But once he understood that, oh, there's chaos gods out there, that maybe that's when we see the little turn. And you guys have asked us this question before, like, what was the conversation like between the Emperor and the 4 chaos gods? I haven't found the answer to that.
Right.
But I'm guessing if Games Workshop ever wants to elaborate, it would be a situation like, not so much like the conversation that matters, but the realization of the Emperor to be like, oh, in order to beat these guys, I myself have to be as powerful as they are.
It's like if you can't beat them, join them. But I like to believe that the conversation went kind of like a Zoom meeting where everybody was talking like in front of one another and stumbling and
dogs barking in the background.
Exactly, kids busting in, and it's like, oh, I see Angron. I'm gonna infect his mind one day.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, just like that. Bubblies. Because I'm guessing all the Primarchs were like in like a test tube, kind of like Goku was. Well, was he in a test tube?
He's in the
Capsule.
yeah, or that little like tube, whatever it is. You know what we mean.
Yeah.
Goku equals Primarch confirmed.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, your last one. Did the Emperor plan for everything to go wrong during the heresy?
No. It's like, even though the Emperor has like prognosticaric, is that a word?
Prognostication?
Yeah, prognostication. He can see into the future a little bit. It's like, I feel like this was all part of the plan anyway. Maybe that's what the gods talked about, the Chaos gods, to like, yeah, we're gonna spread your Primarchs throughout the galaxy. You're gonna find them, bring them back, but we're gonna take half of them.
Yeah, I do think that the Emperor's, again, same thing as like before, his intentions weren't for the heresy to go the way that it did, but he has a plan B, and the plan B is the Alpha Legion.
Ooh.
Boom, 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 Cypher. Boom, boom, boom.
Another big thing that kind of shows you that, hey, this didn't go as planned. It's like, Magnus was supposed to sit on the Golden Throne.
Right.
That didn't happen.
Right.
And then Malkador sat, and that kind of ended his life, and then the Emperor sitting on there. So I'm pretty sure him being in like the state that he's in now was definitely not planned.
Yeah. What's really interesting and what's really cool is that we are seeing Games Workshop really put an effort into like pushing the story and the narrative. So I really am looking forward to when they do talk about the Double Crossing Legion, the Alpha Legion, and bring more fluff to that, because we don't really have Alpha Legion models.
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of like the Horus heresy stuff, but...
And I think they do have like a good distinguishable, like if you buy a standard undivided box set of Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines, you could still make them like Alpha Legion does not look like that.
They're generic enough that you'd have to model them to look like Alpha Legion, because when you look at an Alpha Legionnaire, he doesn't look like a standard like Black Legion or Berserker or anything.
Iron
like
Warrior.
That. Iron Warrior, yeah. They've got their own look, and surprisingly, they haven't done any kits to outfit them that way.
Right. So I think that would be kind of cool. Hopefully we do get that sometime in the near future. But yeah.
Good question. Very segmented. I felt like I was taking a test with number 1, A, B, C.
Did we pass, guys? Comment down in the comment section below.
This next one is by Adrian Sutherland Chettle. So, do you think, or who do you think has the most kills in the universe, not including indirect kills like the Emperor's sacrifices? Whose body count is the highest?
I mean, it has to be a Chaos Space Marine, and it has to be like a big lord.
Oh, I thought he was talking about like more in general, like have the orcs killed more things, or has the Imperium?
Yeah, I mean, if it's generalized, I would give it to the orcs.
Well, I mean, Tyranids eat every living thing on a planet and move on.
But they've only been here for a century.
Bit, yeah.
Or not even, maybe. Maybe even less.
Well, I mean, you've got the Loch Ness Monster, supposedly.
Yeah. The reason I said orcs, though, is because they've been around for 60 million years. And their body count doesn't end with, like, other races. They kill each other.
Yeah.
Like, more than they kill
other races.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Orcs sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe even, like, the Necrons, because, like, they killed everything and they had to go to sleep.
But even then, like, I wonder what was the time gap between them doing their whole little, like, furnace and losing their bodies to when they went to sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it seemed like as soon as they turned into the Necrons and the old ones started doing the warrior races, like the Enslaver plague just...
So. Just like that.
Yeah.
But if it's individual, who would you give it to?
Probably Abaddon.
Yeah. I was going to say Ricky Martin, but you got me with that one.
Yeah. Is Ricky Martin out yet?
He's been out.
Okay. Good for him. Next question. Shinku Kirito Ichika. What if Rogel Dorn made in time... So, what if Rogel Dorn made it in time to fight Horus along Sanguinius? What if the Emperor, Sanguinius, and Dorn fought Horus altogether? Could the Emperor never be mortally wounded and Sanguinius could still live? Of course. You have 3 Primarchs versus 1 Primarch. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You have 2 Primarchs and the Emperor versus a Primarch. Mm-hmm. Even though he's buffed by chaos.
Right, but still, like, the Emperor himself could have taken him.
Oh, yeah.
But it's his humanity that held him back.
Mm-hmm. I think there would have been friction. That would have been interesting because you have the Emperor seeing Rogaldorn and Sanguinius fight Horus, feeling bad because he admitted that he felt bad, stopping Rogaldorn, stopping Sanguinius, and obviously Rogaldorn and Sanguinius would be like, whoa, what the fuck? Maybe not Sanguinius, because Sanguinius and Horus were pretty buddy buddies.
That's true. Then it'd be Dorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the Dorn heresy comes in. I wonder if that's it. I haven't really read it.
Perhaps. That seems like a good part, like a good schism to like envelop the whole heresy.
Yeah. Next one.
This one's by The Outsider. Are there any vampiric factions within the 40K universe? Yeah, there's actually legit vampires in the Ash Wastes in the Warp.
Yep.
You've got the Blood Angels that have the red thirst and they want to suck your blood. And I guess you have vampires in the way of like leeches and stuff like that.
Yep, that's what the enslavers are, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I guess you could say that Terran like high priests are leeching off of the masses and stuff like that. Planetary governors.
Sanguinary cults.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
It's out there in more ways than one.
Yes. This question comes from the big one. If you've clapped numerous cheeks and then a girl you haven't heard from in years claims that you are her baby daddy, would you ghost her or skip town? That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, because how would that make sense if you skip town but still like text back?
Right.
Yeah.
I would say definitely, do the right thing and get your baby into 40K. And then you don't have to worry about playing with people because you have a son or a daughter now that can just be like, here's your army, let's play.
Yeah, I think the most logical answer, second to that, of course, would be call up Maury.
Yeah, because that's still a thing.
Yeah, that man does not stop. He is as powerful as the Imperial War Machine.
He is. Next question.
This one is by Kango. Can you trick orcs into thinking the Emperor is coming for them for the greatest war ever? And if they believe it, can one psychic power of an orc affect the Emperor himself?
No. Orcs need to see and have an immediate threat. They're not like humans where like, let's prep. It's more like, I want the enemy in my face so I could punch him in the face.
Right, because if you tell them, oh, the Emperor's coming for you, they're going to be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Where, when. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the psychic energy. No, the psychic energy works kind of like Shadow Cat, I think it's called, from Deadpool, or Black Cat.
A domino?
Domino. Yeah, where like it's just like she's really lucky, and that's the same thing with orcs. Like the gun's not supposed to work when you pull the trigger, but they're so like
lucky.
Yeah, that they pull the trigger and it works. Yellow things aren't supposed to go boom louder, but they do.
Ty Shingleton, when will we get Chaos Primaris Marines?
Soon.
I hope so, yeah. Actually, if you look at the Blackstone Fortress Chaos Marines, like those 3 models that came out, those are actually bigger in size than regular Chaos Space Marines. So they're kind of slowly pushing the whole GW line to a more true-to-scale model. They're not Primaris. They're regular Chaos Space Marines, but they are a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and we saw that when, like way back in the day when they they came out with Death Watch. When we got Death Watch models are the exact same size as Primaris Marines.
I thought they were a little bit smaller.
Like very, very, very little.
Oh, every little inch counts.
But like but that's the point. Like it's like they threw it out in like a box set kind of thing, and then they start going little by little. They start like until we finally got Primaris.
Right.
So I bet you Blackstone Fortress is GW's way of like testing their mold. Well, they don't even. I think they do 3D printing now, but like testing all that, which is why the faces of most of the Sisters of Battle are shit.
Because of the way the 3D,
I think so. Yeah. But or they probably just got a shitty artist.
I don't know, because like you look at the art and it looks cool. Oh, yeah. You look at the freaking trailer for 9th edition and those Sisters of Battle look like good. Yep. And then you look at the models and it's like,
what happened?
Yeah, it looks like it's like 4th edition sculpts on like, or 4th edition faces on 8th edition sculpts.
Yeah, they're really bad.
Yeah, the sculpts themselves are good until you get to the face.
Yep.
That's why I'm going to prefer all my Sisters of Battle to have the helmets.
Same.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is by Vulcan, Lord of Drakes. Which Chaos God would Bridget B worship? Or would her thickness create a rift in the warp, making her the 5th Chaos God?
I would hope that it would be your second thing. Of like her becoming a Chaos God.
Mm-hmm. But wouldn't that kind of like butt heads with Slaanesh?
No, because Slaanesh is all about pleasure and Bridget B is about like the setup.
Yeah. Oh, the setup, the performance, the execution, the eye contact.
That's why you watch Bridget B, because of the setup.
Mm-hmm.
She transports you into that scenario.
That's why her followers would be people who use VR, because you're there. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
You're looking around. You're like, oh, that's a cookie jar, and like.
Oh, Jonathan Sins. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, there you go. Isn't he a millionaire?
In my mind, yeah. He is whatever he wants to be, depending on what.
That's true.
What video you're watching.
Next question.
This one's by Ty Shingleton once again. How bad would it be if the Old Ones got eaten by the Tyranids? Could the Nids make some Old One hybrid creature?
I don't think the Old Ones are as powerful as people think. When you hear the Old Ones, you think like, oh wow, they must be like the Marvel Old Ones, or like they're huge,
yeah, like the Celestials.
Yeah, but they're not. They existed in a time where the warp was pretty chill. Mm-hmm. So it's like they didn't really have to put up with demons and gods and stuff like that. They didn't have to fight a constant war. They had enough time to not only beat the Necron tier, then fight the Necrons, but had time to do like a side project to create entire civilizations.
Yeah.
So
it's like, oh, we're fighting a war with these things that de-atomize living creatures. There's freaking star gods. But hey, let's make life.
Yep. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Cold FYST. Could there be a way to purge the Nergal infection from Death Guard to return them to normal? If it did happen, how would Nergal react? No.
No. Yeah, once you go Nergal, there's no coming back. Once you go any Chaos, there's no coming back.
Right.
And it's like, have you seen these Nergal dudes? Like, how are you going to get that away? It's like tentacle arms, pustules, face and body integrated into your armor. Like, you can't.
Yeah. For a common thing, if you want to do like a special character, like let's say you're starting a homebrew chapter and you want your chapter master to be a a plague marine that got like brought back, you could, because it has happened where the Emperor does miracles. Mm-hmm. He brought back, we were talking about this last weekend, Vulcan. Mm-hmm. So Vulcan is a perpetual, was killed by something that can kill perpetual. And then the Emperor was like, no, you're coming back.
Yeah. And a theory states that the Emperor gave his perpetualness to Vulcan to bring him back. That's why he's in like a semi-dead state and can't perpetual back from being on the Golden Throne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes to show you, like, incredible things like bringing people back to life are possible.
Right. Also, in the 9th edition trailer again, when that Sister of Battle got her arm hit by a Necron weapon, it should have just dissolved into dust. But no, she prayed and it got reinforced.
Even though I still think that was the Rosarius.
Rosariuses are like shields, like force fields. Like it would have hit the shield, you would have seen like those sparks and the flash.
I saw sparks and flashes. I'm gonna rewatch it.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah, do a rewatch of that.
Mm-hmm. Another way you could say that a Nergal infected person or Marine or Plague Marine can go back to being unaffected is with a what are those things called? They're very rare.
Palmolive?
Yeah, exactly. You use a Palmolive to essentially reverse time, and so like you reverse it to like before you
Nergal
fly, but then it flickers back, so it's like it's a constant
killer field.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You just reminded me because you talked about the trailer. What? This is bullshit. The thing with the whole we couldn't buy a starter set because it got sold out within like what 15, 20 minutes.
Well, because when I tried to order it, it wasn't even showing up on the freaking page. Yeah. And then the freaking supplements, like the rule book, the chapter approved 2020 showed up, and it's like, where the heck is the box set? Then it showed up like 11 minutes later, and when I tried to like add it to the cart, it said like errors, and I was trying to refresh it, and when it finally did, it was sold out.
Yeah, but some bullshit. Like big time. They hyped up it's a whole new edition. Yeah. And they sold out.
They did say it was going to be limited release.
But like, why? That's your starter.
Right. Well, no, it's not. They specifically said it's not. It's not a starter box set for 9th edition. Even though it looks like a starter box set. It feels like a starter box set. It smells like a starter box set.
I'm just upset because I didn't get one.
Yeah.
We should have done the whole YouTube thing.
Yeah.
But damn.
I'm pretty sure they're going to either do a second wave or they're going to say like, oh, don't worry, in like a month or two we'll give you the option to buy each individual model like separately.
For like 300 just for one army.
Yeah.
Or 200 just for one army.
Right. Or you can go on eBay and buy them for like $400.
Are they already up on eBay?
They're up on eBay, and like I've seen them go as high as like $700 when like they cost $200.
Damn. That's insane.
It is. They dropped the ball on this one. What can we say? Because even people who went to like physical stores to like pre-order were having issues. Yeah, I heard that this guy who was 4th in line couldn't get a pre-order. 4th.
It was a disastrous Saturday, and it was very demoralizing. I failed my morale check on that.
Did anybody run away?
I did. Into depression.
Damn.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening to us, and see you tomorrow.
Yeah, this is the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are depressed.
Put my freedom first in any situation.